Welcome back to Wooden Shoe Motorsports, and for part 5 of this box build, we're gonna go down, get the shop opened up, get that body back off of the frame, and start sanding down that frame looking for cracks or any abnormalities that could have happened over the last 47 years. Progress update. We've got the cab off the frame, gone through and started sanding all of this. Still have the driver's side to do and underneath. Once I'm all done sanding, I'm gonna throw a nice coat of flat black across everything, clean it up real nice. So there's a couple of hours of my life I'll never get back. Time to get the first coat of paint on. Here she is, all done. Has that black sexy paint on there.
Are you kidding me?
I just called the Jeep sexy in front of my wife. Anyhow, back to the project. So we went through and painted all the top rails. We did not paint the inside of the frame yet, as we still need to run the fuel lines and all of the electrical system to the back. Pro tip, if you're running electrical or any type of fuel lines onto a blank area and there's nowhere to secure them to, find yourself some washers, take them, bend them at a 90-degree angle, place them up against the frame, and put a tack weld. You can then lay your wire or your lines inside that and run a zip tie through. Makes it a nice clean look. So next up, we'll need to get the motor installed, transmission installed at a minimum. We can run the fuel lines from the back, along the sides, up to the top, to the EFI system. The EFI system requires a return to tank. So we'll come back down the other side of the frame with the return to tank line. Once we have that installed, we'll go ahead and lower the body back down onto the frame and install all the new body mount bushings. After the new body mount bushings are installed, we'll get the frame back on the lift itself. We'll remove the leaf springs and the axles from the chassis. We have all new bushings that we're gonna press into the leaf springs and then install the spacer pads to give it a nicer ride when it's going down the road. While the motor's still not installed, now is a good time to get some things cleaned up. Like this firewall here, unacceptable. Very ugly. But we're gonna change all that. We also still have a fuel tank to clean up and a skid plate to get cleaned up. No, Wyatt doesn't realize the amount of work that we're putting into this thing. So that being said, I'm gonna take a couple liberties with the color because you could only paint so many things flat black. Don't worry, buddy. You'll like the color. A little late, I already started masking and doing a little bit of painting, but here's the before. All right, everything's masked off. Here we go. And we're done. That is acceptable. A nice, clean look. While we had it on the lift, we went ahead and raised it all the way up and undercoated the whole bottom side in a nice Rust-Oleum black. Well, we got that cross member sanded down and painted. Fuel tank's been stripped and painted. And the skid plate is done and drying. While I was in there, I went ahead and did the battery tray too. So while I've been over here sanding and prepping body parts and getting everything painted, Dirk's been over at the motor shop. So let's send it on over to him, see how he's doing over there.
All right, tonight we're gonna tear down a transmission. Well, that's what she looks like right now. And there she is, all torn down. So many little tiny needle bearings. Well, finally, got all the little frickin' needle bearings back in. Even got a coat of primer on that bad boy. Now for some paint, and tomorrow, put it back with the engine and in the frame.
Thanks for sticking it out with us. We're not done yet. I still have all of this to get cleaned up. And we're still missing a very large component right here that needs to get installed.